Next piece is called Belief System. It's from the book Tetched, which means touched in the head. I believe that when I saw trees shake, I was seeing the force that made the wind blow. And that when the trees swayed faster, they pushed the air harder. I believe that with a piece of string, a dry chicken bone, and an open range, I could be a cowboy with my own personal horse. I believed that I was immune to electrical current, natural gas, and solar rays, so I spent hours at outlets, at the stove, and in the sun. I believed that when I saw people shot on television, I was witnessing actual killing, and the actors must have been paid a lot to die. I believed that I could parachute from a shed roof to earth, using only a cloth napkin held by its four corners to slow my fall. I believed that I had to imitate my father and be different from my mother, because my father looked like the people around me, and my mother came from a different tribe. I believed that when my mother told me about children chasing, cornering, and killing a red fox in the place where she grew up, she was trying to tell me what not to do. I believed when my father told me never to say, "Holy cow," that I could avoid his wrath by saying, "Holy cats," instead. I believed that I would never learn how the other half lived through church services or Sunday school. I believed that it would be tragic for my father to be executed for assassinating a political leader, his close friends, or his immediate family, even though he often said he had to do so. I believed that I had to choose between my parents, that I had to decide who was my favorite in case one upped and left. I believed that I should not ask for things, because invariably I would not get what I asked for. I believed that if my penis turned out to be comparatively small, I could compensate by letting my hair grow long. I believed that if my hair were long enough, I could hide behind my fringe and speak very little, if at all. I believed that I was not tall enough to function normally in my given society, but that if I moved to Nepal, I could play on a basketball team. I believed when I was stoned on dope that there was nothing more interesting than the concept of arm, save, of course, for the concept of leg. I believed that I should refrain from heavy petting because my sex cells were so potent they could travel through denim. I believed that if anyone was making someone else's life hell, I was not the one doing it. I believed that I could enter a place that was warm, safe, and suited to the reptilian part of my brain through self-suspension, self-flagellation, and self-deprecation. I believed that I could get along best with someone who had been assaulted as a child, but that if I couldn't find someone who had been, I would just have to go out and assault someone. I believed that I could live with someone who did not sympathize with my obsessions, as long as I loved that person deeply enough. But I was totally wrong. Okay, next piece is called Devil's Night. Comes from this chapbook White and Wong. And yeah, there's this Abercrombie and Fitch ad that says it takes place at a laundromat, and it says 2 Wongs will make it white. So here's White and Wong. See, they run a laundry. Okay, it was called Devil's Night. Then it was October, and we found out about Devil's Night. There had been a Devil's Night in Ohio, too. The Devil's Night in Ohio wasn't like the one here. The suburban, white boy, Midwestern version was less diabolical, more like listening to a Pantera album, or like having a hole drilled in your head and an alcoholic beverage poured into the hole. Here in this urban hell, Devil's Night was much more serious. For one thing, it was always October, and it was always night. It was like Halloween with no treats, only tricks. But I'm not talking about the circular, underground, funnel-shaped hell with Satan sitting at the bottom of the cone. I'm talking about the hell that spawns hellcats, not fire cats. Not fire cats, like the one accompanying Teaser on the album, Teaser and the Fire Cat. No, bad cats, like the ones who listen to jazz. Like the ones who listen to jazz. We had the evil ones in our bones and the sound of bongos and egg-shaped rattles in our intestines. We would lounge around bopping and grooving, knowing we were the worst cats in this world, the next world, or the underworld. For us, every day was night, and every night was Devil's Night. And the theme of family.
Introduce your
I have
band.
two more pieces, short pieces, half page. Those are called Blood Cousins. They were my cousins, but we weren't that close. Maybe it was because they lived in California and were 100%. I wondered how long that bloodline would stay pure. I also wondered, 100% what? Were they 100% American? 100% straight? But the question had to do with their bloodline. The quality of nationality or straightness wasn't in the blood, or was it? No, the bloodline was more like a pedigree. Was my cousin's blood blue because it was 100%? Was my blood 50%? In other words, 50% red and 50% blue? Was my blood purple? Wasn't purple the color of royalty? Was that why I didn't live in California and my cousins did? There must have been some kind of betting going on, a testing of the components of blood. How far back did my cousins 100% go? Back to the old country? Back to the Cro-Magnon era? Weren't we all related if we went back that far? Maybe we were more than cousins. Maybe we were blood brothers. I could definitely cut my finger and hold it to someone else's bleeding finger. I could certainly swap some blood for brotherhood. The idea of brotherhood's important to me because I'm performing tonight with a fraternity brother. I won't say who. Okay, you can ask him later. Okay, this is our last piece called The White Race and White Rice. Does the white race eat much white rice? I suppose so, but don't other races also enjoy white rice? Or does the black race prefer black rice? Rice doused with squid ink, as in paella? No, black rice might appeal more to that Latino race. Are Latinos even a race, or are they more of a group? And aren't the Iberians the ones who invented paella? How about brown rice? Is brown rice consumed more often by members of the brown race? Who belongs to the brown race anyway? Is there such a thing, or is it more of a group? Certainly the white race likes brown rice too, and when members of the white race get down to their white or brown rice, do they shovel it or lift it? I doubt that they shovel it, because most of them don't use chopsticks. Asians use those utensils, but some Asians shovel while others lift. Many Asians are probably unaware of the etiquette involved in transferring rice from bowl to mouth. Do members of the white race care about how to eat white rice? Do they care if it comes in cakes or mounds? Do they notice when they are using their fingers and when they are using their forks? Do they have a preference for long grain versus short grain? What is rice-a-roni anyway? Isn't that more like a mixture of pasta and rice? What's the difference between rice-a-roni and Spanish rice? Heck if I know. And what about the people who plant the rice? risking infection and infestation as they wade in the paddies. Are they adequately compensated for what they do? How is rice harvested anyway? Chopping the stalks must be easier than separating the grains at the ends of the stem. Does the white race cultivate white rice? Has anyone done a study of this subject? I say it's high time to pay attention to what's happening in the floodplains.
War!
Thank you, Thad Rutkowski.
On board!
Thad Rutkowski, Peter Catapano, and Tony Cenicola.